right, Grant. Pre-show shenanigans. We have countless times rated and embraced debate on the best foods across different genres, whether it's burgers or fast food or ice cream or dessert. We've done a lot of things, candies. But this is something that we've embraced once before and will now be embracing again for update's sake. There's two ways this can go. We can either go by type or by restaurant. Okay.
Okay.
And we're,
let's get into
it in
it.
a second. Best fast food French fries. So you have the types. We can go through that crinkle cut, waffle, curly, whatever,
And then
shoestring,
specifics.
or you can go by the restaurant.
Let's start brand types. Okay. Start with types. Personally, I'm an avid fan of the smaller French fry, not a crinkle cut guy. The occasional curly fry hits different, but not an entire batch of curly fries, more so the stray curly fry. You order a set of normal fries and then there's just
in
one
there
or two curlies on top. Ooh, fun. Sign me up for that. But curly fries as a whole, it's a big commitment. It's a big commitment to make and not one that I'm often willing to take. So we'll start there. But yeah, small ones for sure. On the topic of crinkle cut fries, I feel like this is the widest range of possibilities, widest range of outcomes here. You could get some great crispy crinkle cuts, or you can get some soggy, undercooked mush crinkle cuts. I feel like the biggest room for error there. Okay, it can really go in many different directions.
I think steak cut fries are in that same boat too.
Yeah, once again with the steak fries, I feel like you're now just on the edge of potato wedges with your steak cut fries.
I mean, hey, no slander to potato wedges.
And hey, yeah,
no slander. Those are good.
But potato wedges, that's its own genre of tato.
Yeah, does that count as
we're talking
fries?
So if we're talking fries, I think we are looking for, a good quantity here. And personally, this could be a big part of it. When you eat French fries, how many fries you eat at a time? Question.
Okay, it depends on the type of fry, though.
But
if it's Chick-fil-A, I'm not taking a handful of them and
certainly.
It's one at a time.
But I think part of that
if
waffle,
it's in and out,
in a way, you are dipping multiple fries at once. If you get my drift on a waffle fry, I know it's one fry.
I guess you're saying
it technically has the
volume, the surface area.
In theory, a waffle fry, it's technically just like four little fries with cross sections connected. Okay,
that's true. That's true.
But, personally, I'm a multiple type of fry.
Eater. If you go to In and Out, I feel like I get about four maybe in in a pincer maneuver though, like as a
yes. Okay, so it's a specific grip like this. Okay, a certain
it's a pinch,
and it's a multiple finger. Not a one, not a simple pinch. Not even a.
No, you're not holding it like one.
It's like a 3-finger pinch. Okay,
this is 4-finger. You got the thumb in there too.
Well, I mean that's an aggressive eagle claw pinch right there. That's a grasp.
Well, that's how you gotta. It's one per finger. That's the ratio.
You're creating a claw over there.
It's one to
running
one.
back holding a football. You kind of got that going on over there in the mechanics. But I'm a multiple fry type of guy. Also very dependent on the dipping cup available to you. For example,
well, now here's the thing. Then you would get a whole nother debate. If the fry needs a condiment, is it really a great fry?
Whew. We could spend an entire episode on this. Now, this is the thing. I feel like something that's kind of been lost in the art of French fries because so many places are so focused on a special sauce, a special type, some type of sauce unique to that company that we're straying away from the basics and just the classic fries and ketchup.
Now, look,
it's so good.
I want to clarify. Ketchup, I'm not counting in that condiment area. because
I
it's
feel
not
like
like
we
the
need to.
Chick-fil-A
I think we
sauce
overlook
or the
ketchup when it
cane
comes to
sauce.
French
Yeah,
fries.
that's the basic. But like, here's my thing: it's not a fast food fry, Grant, and you will know exactly. You'll know the taste when I say this. But the fries at Houston's with the fry salt, there's no condiment, but the fry salt is why the fries are good on their own.
Now, I'll be
Or at
honest,
Hillstone's,
Houston's
same thing.
they have their take on spicy mayonnaise, which is just
This,
QB, and they
it is
put
great.
extra sriracha.
It is
in
great, but the fry salt on the fries, you could do it without the spicy mayonnaise.
You 1,000,000% you can. They are standalone things. I will say though, the the implementation of that spicy mayonnaise, Everett, it elevates those French fries to a level where you are now questioning your existence. Okay, you take a bite of that spicy mayonnaise, you understand everything Paul Bisonet said about this military operation. Okay, you take one bite of that spicy mayo, you're thinking, how can I implement this not only in my daily eating practices, but in my daily workout routines, in my daily commute? How can I implement this spicy mayonnaise in everything I do? It's that transformative. But I think it's a larger issue that we are so focused on the spicy mayonnaise right now. We're so focused on this. We're so focused on unique sauces, unique things specific to a restaurant. We're straying away from the basics. But you're correct in that Hillstone fries are the best. But once again, a skinny cut fry, one that you could grab multiple in one hand, one claw, one pinch, one vice grip. Okay, and
you're going full fist of fries,
a full on veins popping out of your hand. That's how tight you're grabbing these fries. On that topic, it's got to be the smaller ones. It's got to be the smaller, just because you have that option. You can go multiple. You can go one. It's the options available, really.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I would say
with the waffle, the waffle fries, so large in surface area that Chick-fil-A had to create larger cups, or else the fries just wouldn't do anything.
And they also made it because it's quite literally designed as a vessel for the sauce. Right? There's so much surface area for you to dip.
Yeah, I mean, if we just want to talk about sauce technology, the innovation Chick-fil-A has over there,
it's great.
With the dipping sauces. Now, I know they have those Heinz ketchups where you could squeeze.
But you've seen my moves, though.
Yes,
you've seen my moves.
No, I know. But your move now, for anyone unaware, for the classic Heinz plastic ketchup packets, the little square
you got to tear
packets. Yeah,
open.
let's say it kind of looks some kind of like this little square. You got to tear.
That's a rectangle.
Tear the open. Yeah, rectangle. Tear the open off a little bit to squeeze it out. What Everett does is he'll tear that top open, and instead of pouring the sauce out, squeezing it out, he will then open his little packet slightly. So the bag is still in effect, folks. Okay,
the bag is still open. It's still closed.
In function. Okay, yeah. We are nothing comes out of the bottom of this thing, but he creates a little hole like this so he can dip. Do I have a little fry? He can dip a fry into the apparatus, completely covering the French fry in a full 360-degree scope,
ketchup,
while not spilling any ketchup. And the most useful part about this, you could do it at home. You could do it at the restaurant. You could do it on the go. You could do it in the car. You could do it on the plane.
On the airplane?
You could do it anywhere, Everett, really. And so, it's the convenience factor of it, really. But Everett, your method, you can't do that at Chick-fil-A with a waffle fry.
No, you can't. You have to rip the whole thing off.
You can't fit an entire waffle inside the pack. You can't, Everett. You just cannot fit this waffle.
And they negated my technology.
Yeah, there's limitations to this.
There's evolutionary constraints.
Technological restrictions on this. So, yeah, I mean, your strategy is limited by the waffle fry. Live and die by the Hillstone fry. But yeah, that's how we embrace debate. I had another embrace debate as we bring it up. And I'm gonna quickly try to find it right now, or else we're moving on. But in case I can get it pretty quickly here.
I mean, while you're looking,
let's see. I said this to you relatively recently. It's either popping up or it's not, and it doesn't appear as if it's going to pop up.
It's a little shy. It's okay. It's it's stage fright. It's all right. Everybody gets it.
This was it. Okay. Everett, would you rather be the greatest yo-yoer in the history of Earth? You pull out a yo-yo, you are kind of you're like the Billy Bean of yo-yos, okay? You see yo-yo tricks that haven't even been attempted before. You can see the yo-yo future. Would you rather be that, or would you rather be the 1,000th best football thrower on the planet? Now, a quick caveat. When this internet debate was proposed, a lot of people were operating under the assumption that you get to go back in time to when you're a kid. That's not how we're doing
It's saying currently, at this very moment.
So, yeah, like, under the assumption you get to go back in time,
if you are
obviously picking the football. Duh.
Yeah, if you are not a high schooler or a middle schooler, you're out of luck, buddy. No NFL for you. No Kurt Warner pass.
Certainly. However, let's say it is right now. We are both.
Yeah.
We've never played college football, so are we out of eligibility? I actually don't know. We actually might have eligibility.
I don't know if the NCAA knows that question either, Grant. I don't know if they know.
But let's pretend it's today right now.
Here's my thing, though. Okay, here's my thing. Yo-yoing, cool party trick. Get the dog to walk. Everybody knows the dog walk a trick, or the swing, whatever it was called, where you loop the swing.
I know exactly. The dog walk, yo-yo. Yeah. Yes, you get it. Yes.
We all know that. But here's my thing, Grant.
But Everett, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh no, I know. I know. I would
so
win.
Much more advanced.
I would win America's Got Talent with that ability. I would do it.
Not just that, but you could potentially be that fifth member of the next One Direction band. But
here's my thing, Grant. If this was like early mid 2000s, early 2010s when we were growing up, it's honestly yo-yoing without a doubt. That was the coolest thing for about 4 or 5 years.
Oh.
That was like the coolest thing for.
And you're thinking from like kids. A YouTube angle.
I'm thinking from a YouTube, from like a part, like just like a kid's perspective. Like I remember for me, I don't know, maybe it wasn't a thing after I left California.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like yo-yo videos, that's like an instrumental part of early YouTube.
No, it was, but it is. Maybe it was more of a me thing in Minnesota than in California when I was there. But yo-yoing was like a big fad for like 3 years. Like everybody bought yo-yo. But football, it's a timeless thing. Is this also like I will forever be the 1,000th best thrower for the rest of my life? For the
sake of this, we are going to somehow quantify. Just you are the 1,000th best thrower of football human history.
Yeah, here's the thing. I can go and make YouTube videos.
You the number 4 thrower today.
I would be elite in intramural flag football or adult football. The beach, when you go to the beach with the boys and you're throwing football around, lights out. You're number 1 pick.
Nobody asks questions when you say all-time thrower 3 flags up.
No,
nobody
absolutely
bats
not.
their eye.
Absolutely not. And
you actually get to
you're
say
just
that.
flexing. You're flexing. There's a dude on YouTube or TikTok right now that does the full Raj. Have you seen the full Raj guy? This guy,
Aaron Rodgers, you mean? And doing videos?
I'm saying that not Aaron Rodgers himself. There's a guy that dresses up as Aaron Rodgers and does the emotes and everything.
I am aware.
Yeah, that alone, you could do full Raj, Grant. Even better, you could do full Tom. You can go a step above.
You can quite literally recreate the Zach Wilson workout video down to the last second, the throw included.
Oh yeah. Like maybe you could go walk on for a team somewhere, maybe there's countless possibilities.
Now, my
Thanksgiving football game, Grant.
on the thought of being that you're the 1,000th best thrower of football, okay, and let's actually pretend you can go back in time and be it. Everett, I think right now today there's a pretty solid chance that Joseph Milton, quarterback of the New England Patriots, is the 1,000th greatest thrower of football in the history of mankind. He's probably above that, to be honest. But from a PR lens, I don't think Joe Milton has the greatest opinion of his stance among the media, the public eye, as a rocket arm but can't hit the wide side of a barn, like Anthony.
Well,
Richards
now here's
said.
the thing: we haven't gone into the niche of if you're the 1,000th best thrower. Does that mean in power and accuracy and both? Like Joe Milton, 1,000th best in general. For especially because he can throw it really far, but that doesn't mean he's super accurate. Like, there's levels to this. Like, I'm not assuming if I'm the 1,000th best thrower that I'm going into the NFL, but as a general human being, it'd be good.
More so about like raw athletic traits, physical ability, throwing power. On like a mechanical thing, I guess, like accuracy, tight spiral to a degree, but more so like athletic feats that are irreplaceable. Like one thing I saw, I think it's Matthew Stafford in an interview. Somebody's asking him like, yeah, so I heard that when you were in like junior year, sophomore year of high school, you went to a Manning passing camp, and Peyton and Eli left the camp before you were about to throw your longest ball because they were pretty sure you could outthrow them. And like Stafford saying there, like, yeah, like high school, without doubt, longest I could ever throw. He was like, I could throw like 84 yards in high school. And I'm sitting there, I'm just like, all right, that's like high Matthew Stafford, Hall of Fame quarterback. I know it's very different. But like we look at Stafford now as like an on-field QB god, the no-look passes, perfectly fitting the ball into the right place. But just pure talent, Matthew Stafford's also a top 10 most talented arm in NFL history. So I'm more so going off the like strength, power, ability than accuracy, like the ball brain placement. Well, I mean, literal like brain QB process, that has nothing. This is throwing. You're like, you'll be 1,000, like, so your ability to read
for me, it's weird for me when I think about best quarterback. The first thing that goes in my mind is
best thrower. Power. We're not thinking.
But when I hear thrower, though, my power doesn't go. No, power doesn't go to my mind. I think of placement.
Well, I'm just thinking thrower of the football, just not quarterback.
I know, but I mean, like, when I think of it that way, that's just where my mind goes. But
like my thought is like Joe Burrow, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Would we say Joe Burrow's a top 10 arm talent in the NFL? I don't think we'd say that.
But I think
he's a top 10 quarterback.
But I think arm talent includes accuracy, though. When you throw a football, there's two components of it. One is strength and one is accuracy.
Sure, 100%. But
you can't just be a best thrower without one of them.
I am thinking more so.
That's Zach Wilson, Grant. That's Zach Wilson is great throwing power, but horrific accuracy.
Well, a slight caveat to Zach Wilson is I still don't even know if that ball he even threw it that far. But that's a 3 flags up. Like that thing, if it was in Jerry World, it would hit the Jumbotron. Like Joe Milton, if he's throwing a 70-yard bomb, it's a laser. That shit has barely any launch angle on it. And I'm thinking like that. Like Herbo, when he ripped it down the field, like the one time to Jalen Guyton, it was like the one lit touchdown he threw. Like just a seam. Josh Allen just ripping that shit.
Yeah, you're saying it's on a line.
Dan Marino. Like that's what I'm thinking. Like bullet that shit in.
Yeah, but that still requires accuracy. That.
Yes, of course.
But like that's my point.
My thing though is it's like in the NFL there's plenty, like CJ Stroud, for example, he's very accurate. He is. But I think when you think arm talent, you do think power more than accuracy placement. I just feel like that.
Well, then Drew Brees, do you think Drew Brees has arm talent or no arm talent?
I would say less arm talent than a lot of NFL quarterbacks at his time, but there's more than throwing the football that goes in quarterback.
No, that's true, but I asked just arm talent in general.
Yes. I will say though, defending my guy Mikey T forever, like Drew Brees had last year, could throw the ball like 4 inches. Hey, he's 80 years old, so I get it. But I mean, Michael Thomas sacrifices.
Well, I think either way, I would still be going with football just because I think personally it would be more useful in my everyday life, and I simply haven't cared about yo-yoing for the last 20 years.
Well, I feel like we're just it's a whole world of possibilities that we're not even thinking of now.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of things you can do, but at the end of the day,
I said a lot of it's probably not a lot of possibilities.
I think I could impress people.
Some possibilities.
I think I would be more interested in impressing people just out in everyday life, like going to the beach and just launching a football 70 yards on the beach with my friends and everybody being around seeing that, than doing stuff with a yo-yo.
I will say another thing.
I feel like people just aren't interested in yo-yoing anymore.
There's no real way to quantify the 1,000th best throw of the football ever. If somehow you were the best yo-yoer ever and like YouTube that shit, like we brought up, people would be aware. The football thing, like you can go undercover, act like you don't play football at all, then just show up and just start throwing dots.
Yeah. No, exactly.
So, all right, you're getting me on that lens. You're getting me on that. I will say if I could pick any like sport to just like be really good at as an adult for the rest of my life, it would be hitting a baseball, and I would show up to those youth or adult softball tournaments and just hit bombs, Everett. I think that's the best, other than like golf. Okay, I'm not saying like something that adults play frequently, anything like that. Like a random youth sport, make me just the most goated adult softball player ever. And
flag football. You could definitely start for the flag football team as the 1,000th best thrower all time.
I think you could, but like in my opinion, right now, Team USA, that flag football team, they, in my opinion, if you were gonna grow the game, Roger Goodell get involved, we're putting the most famous people in this for Team USA.
Even though they lost.
Yeah, this is about growing football. Like Brady needs to be the quarterback of this thing. I know he's old as shit. I know.
He was still dotting up when they were playing flag.
They're still gonna win. I mean, it's not like they're gonna lose if Brady's. But I think they need to put the most popular people in, have them do it, and then that's their goal here.
Fair. That's fair.
I'd be surprised if they try to make it semi-serious and it's the second cut of NFL guys, current players doing it. Justin Jefferson, Jamar, they're not doing that shit.
You're saying second stringers. Yeah, no, I got you.
That next cut, okay? So, JSN in there. If they got, him and stuff, I'd be surprised because it's we don't need to do this.
Yeah. No, I mean, the insurance probably would deny it.
Literally, let the most famous people do it. But, okay. All right. Enough of the pre-show. Time for the episode. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today is episode 383. And we are wrapping up a lot of these NBA playoff series. And we'll be slowly getting into the full swing of things. But it is a weird period of time right now in the sports year where we are waiting on some news and updates. I believe NFL rookie training camp just started.
It is begun, yes.
Rookie OTAs just began. OTAs.
They're not really OTA, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the terminology is exactly. But we're slowly getting into everything getting rounded out. But I think we're starting off here with the NBA playoffs, wrapping up a lot of things. I will say this first on the topic of the NBA recently. First, we brought up either last episode or 2 episodes that Sixers Celtics series. What went on there right now? The Knicks just swept the Sixers in one of the least competitive series I've semi-followed in years in the NBA. But more so a topic on Philadelphia fans and the state of them. Everett, could we be entering a horrible DEFCON era of Philly sports fans with what's going on with their teams right now? Like Sixers, sure, win a series, but I mean, like long term, I'm not sure if any of us are picking this Sixers core to like really make a playoff
No,
push. On the
no.
NFL side of things, I don't really know what's happening with AJ Brown over there.
He's gonna get traded in a month.
Yes, is there any way that could somehow get called off with other situations going? I have no idea. Like I feel like this is a first.
I don't think those two situations are related in any capacity. That would be crazy though if AJ Brown's book or something related to that.
I think the craziest possible thing is AJ Brown gets traded to the Patriots, spends like a week there, and then demands a trade out of New England. I think that's like an AB type of thing to happen.
It is exactly what AB did, actually.
Craziest thing
exactly.
that could happen. But also past that, Jalen Hurts. That whole fiasco.
Yeah, it's a fiasco
with the quarterback scene in Philly. And then on the baseball side of things, well, the Dodgers, I'm not even sure if it really existed, but I mean, we kind of killed the Phillies last year. So that's a bit of a dark gloom spot. But yeah, I'm bringing this up just because the NBA is kind of losing its heat for me right now with some of these major fan bases. Sixers not that great. Celtics bounced. The Knicks are about to play the winner of Detroit and Cleveland, historic franchises there. And then like over in the West, both the Thunder and the Spurs are double-digit favorites right now. In their matchups.
The series are very different statistically right now, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still surprised that the Spurs are like double-digit favorites every game. I don't get it. I don't understand how they
did proceed to blow the Timberwolves out twice, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, also this game, as we're recording this, it was Sunday night. The Wolves barely scraped by with a win with no Wemby because of his ejection. So I do understand it to a degree, but I mean, comparatively, the Spurs are a 10.5-point favorite over the Wolves for Game 5, and the Thunder are a 12.5 point over the Lakers, where the Thunder lead 3-0, and the Spurs series is tied. So those spreads are not very different in the context of total points.
Not really.
So that's the more interesting thing to me when we're talking about the double-digit spreads.
Yeah, this has been a very interesting year in the NBA. It is the last year before the anti-tanking rules go into effect, and I believe starting next year, the lottery odds are going to be like perfectly distributed among all lottery teams. So like if you're the 14th team record-wise, you have the same chances of the number one pick as the worst team in the NBA. And that's
certainly not going to cause any issues with the Thunder having multiple lottery picks.
But yeah, this was like the last year that teams could pretty much egregiously tank and it still help you. And so this year I think they were saying like 10 to 12 NBA teams just threw in the towel this year, just gave up going for the best pick. And this is also supposed to be one of the deepest NBA draft classes in years. And another thing which I was so confused, Everett, did you know yesterday was the NBA draft lottery?
I did find out after it happened.
But I literally found out it was the draft lottery at like 11:58 a.m. Pacific time, which is 2 minutes before they start doing the lottery. I was like, what? This is today, right now? But for something that is so like instrumental to the NBA draft, which is one of the biggest events of the year in that league, they just like gloss over this draft lottery process.
Yeah.
And just like,
I mean, look, here's the thing.
Skip over it, which we've so many times.
I understand like teams need to know it because like need to know where they pick because that determines who they should do workouts with in the combine is I think
It's
like
pretty
next week or
soon
something.
here.
It's like next week.
Yeah.
So like they needed to do it for interviews and for that sake. But like as an entertainment perspective, would it not be sick if they did it right before the draft, like the same day or the day before?
Okay, now we're talking. Like now
Like, would
we
you
are
not be
talking.
way more interested and be like, oh shit, the
Oh
Pacers just
my
lost
god,
their pick?
Everett. Everett, yes. Yes. Like that's actually how we do this.
That's so much better from a fan perspective
Yeah,
because
yeah.
now it's a double thing. It's two things that you are trying to go
Yeah,
to the
I mean
draft for and
at the
why.
very minimum, it can't be like just tossed in right before a second round playoff game. Like at the
No.
very least, we can't be doing that because nobody can even see it. But like this is the last year of egregious tanking. I think that might like slightly contribute to like some of these spreads here. But yeah, the NBA right now, it's like moving in a direction where it's pretty tough to build a
Well,
team that can compete long term. You like kind
yeah,
of need
unless
to get like
the
eight
Thunder,
firsts.
yeah, which is what they did.
But
You need to have a Paul George situation, but that will never happen again because Paul George happened.
yeah, I mean the issue was that era of super teams. Teams were getting crazy and thinking we need to assemble a big three during that like mid to late 2010s NBA period. Which hey, the Warriors inspired a lot of it. Not gonna lie. Uh, But yeah, the NBA they have an issue right now. They have a problem right now uh, with yeah the Thunder, how they're constructed. But like you also look at the other top like competing teams, Spurs. Let's throw Pistons and Cavs in there. All of these teams are very young superstars who are surrounded with other former first round picks that were drafted by that team. And then
Yep.
all those teams have multiple firsts still in the future to continue
Yep.
supporting the team. So it's going to take a while to catch up. It might be like a decade for many of these teams to catch up to them.
Which is tough. Like, I mean, it worked. It ended up working out so well for the Thunder. Like, you have to hand to them. Like that is just development. Like, it's not like they cheated or did anything conspicuous. Although some would allege that Shy is getting some bullshit whistles, which is fair. And that does certainly help. And Lou Dort doesn't play basketball; he plays football.
Yeah, I mean, it's the
Um,
torture chamber. We've been over this.
but but
It's from the
besides
torture
that,
chamber.
like they're able to keep reloading because they keep having picks because they've made smart decisions and drafted well, which you have to hand it to them for
Yeah, I
that.
mean, hey, you got to give them credit for drafting well. Like, that's its own thing. Like, hey, it's one thing to get a ton of picks. Now you got to go make the picks. Like,
Yeah, and they
now
and
you
they
got to
and
go
they've
make
done
them.
that. And it does help to have mostly top five picks and other lottery picks, but there was a long time where the Thunder were horrendous. Like let's not forget that. Let's
Yeah,
really not forget
yeah.
that.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's
Um,
the thing. Like, for a lot of these teams to like get to where they are, like I think like Spurs even's like arguably better example. Like, bro, the Spurs before this season, they are like a consistent
I mean,
24 win team since like Tim Duncan left. Okay, since like
if you
2019,
want to talk about that
18,
too,
the
the
Spurs were
Timberwolves
winning nothing.
Timberwolves right there. Timberwolves hadn't won
Sure,
until like 3 years ago. Like
sure,
everybody remembers
but
and makes fun of the Timberwolves for acting like they just won the NBA Finals when they won a play-in game in like 2021.
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
we made fun of the process for so long and it didn't
Yeah.
really turn out, but like hey, like, we are crapping on these teams like, oh, they tanked and look at everything they have. That's not fun going through like
No,
5 plus
several people are
years
also fired during
losing
that
their
span.
jobs, acts, like, it's yeah, I mean, it's a risk. It's a risky situation involved.
Now,
So
I do think that teams getting unfair and unjustified abilities to do things that aren't capable of any other teams, like the Thunder's whistle with the refs, like that's a different story. But the actual build of the team, like the Nuggets were in the same boat like 4 or 5 years ago, with Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon and obviously Jokic. So like Like that, they sucked, and they were able to build that through the draft and development, and like that's great. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah.
guess they traded or signed Aaron Gordon, but
But I mean, a lot of that is still drafted guys. Like
yeah, no,
Jokic
exactly.
got drafted during a Quesarito commercial. Everybody knows. So like, yeah.
That honestly that's honestly the greatest thing that
And
it
it's
fits
like
in
the
perfectly.
perfect play. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it
exactly.
fits in perfectly.
It's so perfect for everything we know about Jokic now. Like he literally has been disrespected from the second he got into the NBA. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, back looking at these series, the Lakers and Thunder play tonight. We're recording this on Monday. The Thunder is going to wrap up that. I mean, the Lakers won't. They can't win a game. And obviously, the Knicks have already beat the 76ers. And I think going into the series, you and I were both like, I don't know which way it's going to go. And I think that was largely because we were being really recently biased towards
really
the Celtics loss. And we were
really
like, oh, they beat the
impressed
Celtics.
by the it was really impressive that they beat them, like coming
Yeah.
back from 3-1, like, and I was kind of buying into what the Philly fans were saying, like, hey, Joel, Edgecombe, and Maxey, they played I think 16 games together before the, like, we just don't know what they are. Like, we've just never seen them together. So I was buying into
I
it.
think you're seeing the same thing kind of out of the Wolves here, as what I'm going to say. Like, I don't know if the Wolves are going to win this series versus the Spurs. But the Knicks and the Wolves both have been in the conference finals like each of the last 2 or 3 years, more or less. They've never made the finals, but they made it that far. And like those teams, like that's almost their bread and butter at this point. Like you can never count them out, and you have to give them credit because they know how to play like in capacities to get to at least that point. And that's the last hump that they have yet to figure out. But like 76ers, especially with them not having that gel, right? They only played 16 games, like might have worked in the first round. Second round, you're playing against a team that's a little bit more like they got it figured out. And
yeah, and also, I mean, the Knicks, they just were not missing. I like specifically yesterday. Oh my God, like every person on the Knicks is hitting their shots, and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, that's.
And honestly, right now, I would say I would pick the Knicks to go to the finals out of the East.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely on board with the Knicks to the NBA Finals. Just like Pistons, Cavs, like. I don't want to just do this again because we kind of did this last year and the season before, like with the Thunder being like, hey, when they match up against like vets, like they're gonna lose in the playoffs. So I don't like want to do that to the Pistons and Cavs again, like against the Knicks. Just like an older team. Like I know the Knicks don't have like crazy playoff experience, but just an older team going up against younger guys. But if anything we've seen right now, like that isn't really the case anymore.
Yeah,
like there was a period of time, like start like a year ago, 2 years ago, for like a while, that the older team of LeBron, Curry, whoever, that's like a lower seed, they'll just run through the higher seeded young team. But now
I think we also like those young teams.
Yeah, those young guys are now like 27.
They're not. Those were quite literally like their first 2 or 3 years in the playoffs, and now they got that experience. Like, wait a minute, I'm not going to.
Yeah, I still call them young.
They are young. Like they are objectively young, and the future of basketball runs through those teams now. But like like the comparison for that, Grant, that we would be talking about in that capacity are like the Rockets, are the Spurs to an extent, are the Pistons and the Magic. But like the rest of these teams, they're not like young guys that we would talk about. We're talking about
but
the West.
I'm thinking like Thunder, Spurs, Pistons, Cavs, like all of them, like they have a core of like 3 to 4 guys that are like Cavs. I know they got Spider Mitch and like Harden on there now, so they're a little different. But like Mobley there, like Jordan Tyson's brother. I'm blanking. I know they just traded him. But Darius Garland when he was there, like young core Pistons, Caden, like Jalen Duren, all those guys. Spurs, too many like 23-year-olds. They're all the same age. And then Thunder, I don't know, the Gen Z Monstars, we could call their team pretty much. But it's just like a young core of a bunch of guys like around that age. But yeah, that's not really a reason to pick against them anymore. Like they can still win series. But Yeah, I'll say this last thing. We, as an NBA fan, like the way to get me back into these playoffs with juice is if the Thunder play the Spurs. Everett, Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren have truly hated each other for, I don't know, at least 8 years now. They've been matching up since the FIBA youth tournaments, like U15 Team USA versus U15 Team France. They were always the two 7-footers as 12-year-olds playing against each other. So there was always a rivalry there. It's like, honestly, kind of, you could say, kind of like the Adam Sandler Netflix beef between Anthony Edwards and Hernan Gomez. Okay, little international beef, just do not like each other, never liked each other. And we need that in the NBA. We need guys to genuinely not like each other. That's how you get the best content.
I mean, yeah, we talked about this, I think, months ago, but we were like, the NBA is in a position
It's
where
too
there
buddy
aren't,
buddy.
yeah, there's
They're
no
all
like,
friends with each other.
I want to run through your chest and kill you.
My example is like
Um,
that Olympics team. Like they all like each other. Where it's like the Dream Team Olympics, it's like Magic and Larry Bird are going at it every single day because they hate each other. Like Clyde is going at MJ every day because they're like, I'm the best shooting guard in the league. Like inner beefs between the teams. Like
mhm.
Charles Barkley was like, Carl Malone and I like never spoke one time because we thought we were the best golfers.
Well, I also
So
don't blame Chuck for not speaking
sure.
to him either.
But like
But-
there were beefs that drove that team to succeed.
no,
Like that's what
exactly.
drove it. And it's like that US Olympic team, they're all like friends.
Now, just to clarify, Grant is not saying that each individual NBA team needs to have players that hate each other on the team, but for an entertainment
No.
capacity,
Yeah. Oh, hey, teammates who hate each other. It's like there's only certain examples of that working out. It's like Kobe and like Michael Jordan, but it's like if you have like the best players in the sport, like at the time as the like asshole, they can kind of make up for it. So don't exactly want to use that here. But all right, that's gonna do the basketball talk. Uh,
yeah,
all
yeah.
right, okay. Moving on. What do you want to dive into next?
Let's take a little pit stop here in the NHL. Still in the playoffs, obviously. Not too much to talk about. The Hurricanes did just wrap up their series 4-0. Honestly, the Wild played tonight. Quinn Hughes, another just remarkable game out of him and Brock Faber. And that's one of the perspectives where it's like, hey, that guy you trade 3 younger players in the first 4, like that's how it's worth it. Still, I do think though whoever wins this series is going to go to the Stanley Cup, and I don't know if they'll beat the Hurricanes or not because I think that's just going to come out of the East. But Wild lose this game tonight, series is over. So that's my little update on that, and this will be uploaded after that game is over. So if the Wild tie it, my money's on the Wild to win it. If Wild lose this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no
Don't know if they're
puckhead,
coming back.
no puckhead myself, but I feel like of the 4 sports leagues, the league with the most comeback, just any given series, someone can just casually go from 3-1 to 3-3. I feel like it's in the NHL.
Well,
I feel like I don't necessarily want to count Wild out if you guys go down 3-1 because I just feel like
I'm not like fully like I'm just saying like I do think that it could come back 3-3, but like you got to remember all this other stuff going on. It's the Minnesotan experience, the Minnesota fandoms. It is are you really gonna knock 3 games off in a row versus the best team? Like they did do that versus Dallas, but the Avalanche aren't Dallas, and I do think with Wallstedt back in over Gustafsson and Wallstedt being like hopefully more recovered. Like I think they had like 3 or 4 days off in between the first 2 games in this game and the game on Saturday. And like that helped a lot. And hopefully we're going to get more of our team back healthy going into back to Denver. But I think you really need, this is a must win. I wouldn't even say it's a can't lose game for Minnesota. It's a can't lose game, not a must win, but it's a can't lose.
Yeah, I think that one's a bit more accurate when describing this one. But Yeah, this should be exciting, an exciting upcoming round of playoff. Now, okay, you were saying Hurricanes is
Mhm.
the likely team to match up with Avalanche most
or
likely.
or Wild.
Now,
Yeah,
so I'm unaware of this. I just don't know, but I've been informed that the Carolina Hurricanes choke every single year.
They do, but we are also looking at both the Canadians and the Sabres, who don't really
Worst
have.
chokers, like worst
Yeah,
chokers.
yeah, I personally would believe that they have a higher propensity for choking, and Carolina has swept both series that they played in the playoffs. They beat the Senators 4-0, and they beat the Flyers 4-0.
Maybe I'm messed up in the head, but that doesn't make me feel good about the next two. So I feel like they got their
I mean,
sweeps in.
like, look, Buffalo is great, but they're down in the series versus the Canadians, and like everything would tell me there's just it's storybook every year. Canada makes it to the finals and they lose in the finals. That's the storybook for the NHL for the last like 2 3 years. And like I could fully see that being the case again. Like, Canadians not a bad team, but like if the Hurricanes are beating the Flyers, if the Hurricanes are beating the Senators as bad as they have, I can't see either
I
the
just think it's
Sabres or the Canadians
I
winning.
just think it'd be perfect if a team called the Canadians lost in the Stanley Cup. That'd be so funny. They're literally called the Canadians.
Yeah. I mean, it would be funny. I honestly think just general matchup wise, Canadians versus the Ducks, who are named after the Mighty Ducks, the
Oh
Anaheim
yeah,
Ducks.
of course.
That's the best name matchup in the NHL for the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. I also feel like it's kind of unanimously voted on that the Anaheim Ducks, like a top three logo in all of sports.
I would agree with that statement. Yeah, that it is pretty nice. They like
It's pretty
apparently
iconic. We all
at the
agree.
start of the season they also like put the duck like goalie mask on like every chair in the stadium. So like you went like the season opener, you got like the goalie
Okay,
mask
no, I
that's in the
love
logo,
that.
which is I
I
was
mean,
like, that's sick.
that could actually be a lost art. I saw recently. It's some like slideshow of like throwback NHL goalie masks. They used to all be custom, like really
Yeah.
really custom
I
back
mean,
in
they're
the
still
day. They
custom
still are
now,
very,
but
but like they like have really had no rules, and every single goalie had their own unique mask. I was like, you know what?
I mean, it is still really
Good shit.
independently unique. To be fair, like Wallsted's
Yes,
mask
yeah,
is
of
different than
course,
Gustafson, and
of course.
players on the same team have different. Like I think Flower last year, Fleury, the Wild's
Yes,
goaltender, he had flowers on the side. Like that was his goalie mask. Like yeah, that's unique to him. So it's probably more regulated now. I don't know if you're gonna have like the World War II woman on the side of the plane,
oh yeah.
decal on the side of the hockey mask. Maybe they did in the '80s or the '70s, but I think there's some regulations in place.
Yeah. But that was plenty of hockey talk right there. Plenty.
That we got in our little our little puck drop, I
Uh,
guess you could call it.
yeah, we can wrap up briefly here. With I don't know some NFL, other football news, uh, or maybe some MLB.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's whole lot to talk about MLB wise since the last episode. Not a lot has happened. Robleski is still going crazy. But like NFL wise, we're kind of in limbo right now. There's not a whole lot of stuff to talk about rookie wise yet, and the draft or not the draft, the NFL schedule comes out here in a couple days, which we won't have for next week's episode, but we will have for after that, which we'll be able to break down then. But
Yeah, I will say right
um,
now we're in that stage of fandoms
Grant, I
where
got breaking news. I have breaking news. This is just for you. This is just for you. This is an Ohio State of the Union ran by me. Grant, Ohio State's new uniforms have dropped.
yeah, I'm seeing it now. So Ohio State has now technically yes, there's actually something brand new about this. So technically, Ohio State has announced all black uniforms, which in theory is the exact same all black uniforms used, I believe, just 2 years ago in 2024. However, they have new stripes on the side of the jerseys. But I will say this: this I was made made aware of beforehand, because we are in that time where we are so bored as a fan base this time of the year that some Ohio State people hacked into the Ohio State media social media accounts, discovered an announcement post, nothing like actually like majorly important to the program or anything. No, just a new jerseys, but more specifically the exact same jerseys that you saw 2 years ago, with an updated stripe pattern on the side. So that's where we are at right now as fans. It's boring. It is something right now. I would say, there's some slight detractors with like this era where like spring ball's not necessarily that important anymore. Like I feel like right now with the portal, like if there's like a big QB battle going down, odds are one of them will dip like before they even.
I mean, they did remove the spring portal, but yeah.
But I'm saying like before, like in that off season before, like team, like so there's not as many battles, not as many little storylines to follow going into the year. Like at least for, I mean, a lot of the starters, I say probably knows 16 of the 22 starters on offense and defense today on May 11th. They probably know. So
yeah, I think that's fair. I do like I just out of curiosity, was the black helmet a part of the uniform in 2024, or was it?
Yeah, for that.
Okay, because I just don't remember seeing a black helmet anymore.
Yeah, like slightly, but I mean they quite literally had that exact same all black uniform like 2 years ago against Michigan.
So they're
State.
really innovative, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I mean, Ohio State doesn't make crazy new like the last time Ohio State was making unique new jerseys every year was pre-Urban Meyer.
I guess that makes
Ironically,
sense.
the second Urban signed, they actually stopped.
Interesting. I just like don't even know what more like, because the whole thing with Ohio State's unis is it's similar to Michigan's in the way that it is like it's one jersey, like that's the brand, is the scarlet and gray.
It's so iconic.
Like, that's the brand,
like,
but it's like I don't even know what you would want to do to change it. Like you can't. You have to make it so you can still see the stickers on the helmet. And
my thought is like 1 year 2010, they just changed it so all the fonts were like script.
I mean, like that's kind of cool.
So like the numbers were in like everything. So, yeah. But it's not like they're coming out with like a whole new like.
It's not Oregon. It's not Oregon.
Yeah, it's like the most exotic they'll get is a gray jersey, which I think look awful. Side note.
What would you think? What about an all scarlet set? They scarlet top.
They did that for the Tennessee game. They just wore scarlet pants with it, which I mean, like you kind of notice it, but I mean, like, I personally think two-tone uniforms look the best. Like that's one.
I agree with that. I don't like the whole like color rush, like one color.
Color rush is the only time like every NFL team, they for their base uniform, it's different colors.
Yeah.
Jersey.
I agree with that.
Well, I think that's like a uniform policy.
It is. It's a requirement.
Yeah. Like
I'm saying I agree that it looks the best. I don't like the whole like one uniform color.
Yeah, like I think the one it doesn't necessarily look great. Like especially
I think the only time it looks good is if it's all white or it's all black. It can't just be like all red or all yellow or an all green like the Seahawks highlighter.
I think arguably every team should like be forced to have at least an alternate all white uniform.
I like that.
Like the Vikings all white uniform with the helmet, like goated, like amazing.
Yeah, no, that game that I went to when they had the all whites on, I mean, they also do special stuff for.
I mean, you know me, I am in love with Stanford, Alabama, and Penn State away. Their all whites are just perfect. All of them. Love all of them. But all right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the
So
college
with
football
that,
update. We're talking about jerseys. Okay.
yeah. I don't know if there's really anything else to talk about right now, unless you really want to get into like soccer, with some of that
No,
stuff wrapping up. But
we are not going to dive into there. Yeah, I would say right now, the whole soccer thing, World Cup, going on, everything. Yeah, like I think we're just kind of seeing how the American public doesn't really care. And like if
yeah,
anything, this World Cup might just be reinforcing how it'll probably never happen, where a majority of the American population is invested in. So it'll likely never happen.
yeah. I mean, I feel like people haven't cared in general, but it's like once USA actually plays, people like that's it. They just USA. Once the USA
Sure,
gets eliminated, nobody cares.
sure.
But like you'll be locked in for it just for the USA for when they play.
Yeah, I'd say like I'm slightly more interested than a lot of people about it, but it's like could I name every player on the U.S. national? No, I could maybe name
No,
three. I could
yeah,
maybe name three.
but I might be better
I'm
than
not
me.
gonna try to do that right now because that would make me look bad.
But yeah, I guess with that, we'll wrap up here. So thank you guys so much for watching, listening, raise 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, too, Twitter, and on Instagram at Waterbury Pod. You can follow me on Twitter at Everett6 and at Waterbury Brand. Episodes every week on YouTube and all podcast platforms. We also post exclusive content on TikTok and Instagram as well. So make sure you're out there. See if there's anything else. And with that, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Waterboys out.